You will not be allowed in my Father's house at all.
I made him a millionaire. I know for a fact, me personally, I know your dad don't look at you like a real nigga. I know that. That's my man's. Your dad is my OG. I told you to go down there to the country town and get your daddy, no matter what your differences is with your daddy. I went half on your mama house and bought your mama house, bro, because you didn't have the money. I went half with you.
Now, like most of you know, Young Thug has been in the headlines in the rap world for a lot of different things. The biggest one being for cooperating with the police, which ruined his street credibility as someone who promotes that lifestyle. And most recently, he was also trending for calling Glorilla ugly in a leaked jail call.
I saw the girl, Gorilla. Why don't people say she pretty? That be ugly as fuck.
Thug has also been trending for his continued effort to recover from the damage that has been done to his.
Because you want to know what it is. Once somebody's a celebrity, once somebody has a certain level of fame, money, shit like that, now they just can't be anything. Now they just the most perfect, the most best looking motherfucker in the world. Because they got fame and money. Can't nobody call them ugly. Can't nobody give their opinion on them. They just perfect now. I hate y'all motherfuckers, bro. Y'all niggas.
Career and his reputation. But the one thing I haven't seen anyone talk about is how Young Thug has to be the worst friend ever. So let's touch on that. Now, yesterday, Young Thug did an interview with a platform called the Big Facts Network. It's his first official interview since the police cooperation scandal. And although he said a lot of things, I want to focus on something he said regarding his friendship with Gunna. Now, Gunna and Young Thug, as most of you guys know, fell out after that RICO case came crashing down on both of them. Gunna ended up spending some time incarcerated and eventually got released in December 2022 after taking an Alford plea deal. That cemented Gunna as a snitch to some, and others didn't blame him for it considering the circumstances.
Nah, this nigga Gunna was really fat. What the fuck? I forgot it's how he looked.
That aside, however, I thought this interview with Young Thug from yesterday, actually, that dropped, was really interesting because he had a very passionate conversation about his relationship with Gunna. The part I want to focus on is the part where he was essentially counting all the things that he did for him. So I want you to listen to the clip in question and just pay attention to what he's saying, okay?
I made him a millionaire. I bought his first apartment that he lived in. I bought it with my money. I made him put his money up. Keep your money. I bought it with my money because I had a little extras. I bought that shit. I went half and half with you to buy your mama house. Your mama first house. Get her out of the hood.
Now, there's a lot to break down here, and the majority of it is going to be a lesson for a lot of us as it relates to friendships. Some of us have been blessed with great friendships and fruitful relationships that have elevated us mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, depending on what kind of friendship we're talking about, right? It's a great conversation to have because it's such a relatable topic. But before we go there, let's take a trip down memory lane and touch on the beginning of their friendship. Back in 2015, a young Gunna ended up meeting Young Thug, who was already an established artist at the time. They met through a mutual friend, and his name was Keith King Troop. At the time, Thug had released his mixtape, Barter 6, and Gunna stopped by a video shoot for a song from the project. It was for the song With That, which was their first interaction. Thug and Gunna became mutuals, they became homies who eventually kicked it here and there, but that friendship intensified after the man who had introduced them, King Troop, was gunned down outside a gas station on December 12, 2015.
Justin, and this is where that killing happened. Right here in front of this gas station, you can still see some of the victim Keith Troop's friends there, right where he was shot at the front door of that gas station. And late this afternoon, I want to show you this real quickly.
After the death of King Troop, what started as a casual friendship then intensified as the two went to the funeral and it brought them closer. Then they started to have more of a working relationship in the music industry, and Gunna was spending a lot of time around Thug working together with him. Young Thug then featured Gunna on his iconic 2016 release, Jeffrey, and that was the start of a very long friendship. Through their relationship is how Gunna also met key collaborators like Lil Baby, which eventually led to a joint project with Lil Baby and some very successful songs. Even though Gunna started as Young Thug's protege at the beginning of his career, Gunna eventually built his own lane and established his own name in the music industry. As his relationship with Young Thug continued to grow year after year, things eventually took a halt in May 2022 after Gunna, Young Thug, and their crew members got hit with RICO charges. Gunna spent some time behind bars and eventually got out after taking that Alford plea deal. And Gunna and Young Thug's friendship was over the second they both got arrested. And Young Thug, in the interview clip I showed you, spoke about how much he helped Gunna, which is something Gunna never, shied away from. He always credited Young Thug as a person who helped him early on when he didn't really have to. And I think what Young Thug did for Gunna in his early days is forever going to be a part of his story. And it's nothing even Gunna would ever deny. However, how Thug is talking about all of it is honestly rubbing me the wrong way. Thug in the clip I played you stated that he bought Gunna his first apartment with his money when Gunna didn't have shit. He also stated that he made him a millionaire, emphasis on he. Young Thug also stated that he put half of his money to buy Gunna's mother a house so Gunna could, get her out the hood. Young Thug also stated that he was the one who told Gunna to settle the differences with his own father. So now we unfortunately know the private details of Gunna's family dynamics.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just in the beginning of this video, Thug said that Gunna's dad is his OG. So it's not like you're doing Gunna these favors. You're doing Gunna these favors off of the strength of his pops. You feel me? Off of the strength of his pops being your OG. So now years later go by. I'm not gonna lie, bro. If I was Gunna, I'll cut off Young Thug 100%, bro. That ass. I'll never try to reconcile that relationship again. Cause you gotta remember, even while everything was going on and Thug was still in jail, Gunna was still showing love to Thug. Gunna was still tweeting certain tweets and just showing love to Thug. Just for a situation like this to come about, this nigga Thug want to begin on interviews and start talking. Mind you, niggas only be getting to this position. Niggas only get to chatting and yapping and shit like that about other people once they see that that person has elevated and blew them out the water. Bro, Gunna is up here in comparison to Thug and Baby and any one of them other niggas who kept calling him a snitch and trying to come at him and shit like that. You feel me? It's like now you can't get next to him. You see, you got out of jail. His first day out versus your first day out is two completely different first day outs. Let's just say if they both was to put out first day out records, shit, Gunna blew him out the water. That ass. And if a motherfucker lapped him and you can't get near him no more based off your actions, because you the one who was talking shit. Gunna wasn't talking shit. You was talking shit. Now that you talking shit and you see that it's not that it's working out in his favor more than it is yours, you thought that you being on that street shit, oh, he's a rat, he snitched, you thought niggas was gonna go against him. You thought that shit was about to work against him. And now that you see that it's not, now that you see that he's more popping than you, now that you see that his music is doing better than you, now that you see that he's getting more praise than you, he's getting more love than you, now you just spiraling. Now you don't know what to do. Now you just going on podcasts and interviews and you get the talking shit. You get the counting motherfuckers' blessings and the type of shit that you did for them and shit like that. Yo, bro, you gotta cut them type of motherfuckers off, bro. A nigga like me, I do shit out of the kindness of my heart. I'm not over here counting favors. I'm not over here on some I did something for you. Time goes by, I ask you for a favor, something, you can't do it. Now I'm over here bringing up all of the shit that I've done for you and shit like that. Like, bro, that's weird shit, bro. That's weird shit. If you gonna do shit, then do it out of the kindness of your heart. Don't have an agenda behind it.
Thanks to Young Thug. And Thug also stated that Gunna's own father doesn't look at him.
Not only that, Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan was beefing at one point in time. I don't know how true this is, but I recently heard that the only reason why they was beefing is because Young Thug was obviously with Birdman and Cash Money, YMCMB and shit like that. And Rich Homie Quan was with them as well. But Rich Homie Quan had his own shit going on. I think he had his own business contract deals going on and shit like that. So when Thug and them wanted him to go to Cash Money, Rich Homie Quan wasn't trying to do that just based off loyalty. He wasn't on some disloyal shit towards them specifically. He wasn't on some fucked up shit towards them. It's just Rich Homie Quan already had his own shit going on. Thug and them wanted him to come to Cash Money, and Rich Homie Quan said no. And because of that, shit went how it went.
I got real nigga because Gunna's dad is apparently Thug's OG.
I told you to go down there to the country town and get your daddy, no matter what your differences is with your daddy. I know for a fact, me personally, I know your dad don't look at you like a real nigga. I know that. This my man's. Your dad is my OG. He don't look at you like that. I made you go get your dad. I made you reunite with your family and do the right thing.
And Thug also stated that he gave Gunna more time than his own children and the mother of his children.
I just poured my all into him, bro. I gave this nigga more time than my children, bro. I gave him more time than my kids. I gave him more time than my old lady. Like, I poured my life into these people.
Which is absolutely insane. Thug then once again stated that he went half with Gunna to buy Mama Dukes a house, okay, his mom's, Gunna's mom, because Gunna didn't have any money. That's what he said.
I went half on your mama house and bought your mama house, bro, because you didn't have the money. I went half with you.
He also said that he, okay, Young Thug, bought Gunna's brother his first truck and let Gunna play it off like he bought it for him.
I bought your brother his first truck and let you present it to him like you bought it.
And he ended it by saying that he didn't do it for no reason other than that he had love for his brothers. Now, for the people who get it, y'all get it, okay? The message for today is be very careful who you allow to help you in this life. Now, some people have been, pointing out the opposite of this conversation, which is be careful who you help. Although that is a great point overall, because not everybody deserves a helping hand, because some people will be 6 feet deep in a ditch screaming for help, and as soon as you crouch down to, help them, they'll drag your ass down just like that, okay, and feed you to the alligators, okay? That's a very real thing I've experienced myself, and I'm sure you have as well, okay? However, for this particular situation, I don't think that applies at all. Understand that Young Thug didn't help Gunna because he wanted nothing out of the situation. He helped him because they had a mutual working relationship. Thug even stated when he first discovered Gunna, he really saw the potential in him, which means he's seen musical talent in him before the world did, okay? The only difference between both of them at the time is that when Gunna was receiving the help from Thug, he wasn't where he was supposed to be. However, he was very much heading in that direction. And the reason why I'm very adamant about saying it like that is because, a lot of people like to pretend that because a person assisted another person on their journey to success, they suddenly created that success for them, completely negating the fact that success was already a part of their destiny. In the words of Jay-Z, I heard motherfuckers saying they made Hove say, okay, so make another Hove. Or The Weeknd's line from Sidewalks comes to mind as well when he says, because too many people think they made me. Well, if they really made me, then replace me. Young Thug reminds me of one of those people who, tries to help you and then the whole time they're counting every single thing that they're doing for you. And the biggest issue here is when, those people who supposedly are helping you in good faith, when they decide to tell other people how you weren't shit before they helped you. I mean, how real of a thing was it if the whole world had to know? How real is it if we now know that Gunna and his father weren't on good terms, and without you, his entire family would have supposedly crumbled, right? You can never make another man a millionaire. That is absolutely not possible. What is possible, however, is putting a man in a position in order to make millions. Those are two completely different things. There's a lot of people who've been put in positions to win, but they weren't able to do anything with that. On the other side, you have somebody who nobody ever handed anything to, and despite that, they come out on the other side with all types of bags, all kind of success, and they're just blessed in their life. Not because anything came to them, but because they went after it. And they were, of course, lucky because luck plays a very big part in becoming successful. There's so much that has to line up at the right time for things to go your way, but that's another conversation. I'm sure all of us have experienced this kind of thing. You have to realize that a lot of people in this world will go out of their way to help you, not because they care, but because they want to be attached to that success that was already in your future. There's a reason why everybody wants to help someone who's already on the up and up. It's almost like investing in a stock that's guaranteed to make you infinite returns. You simply can't lose. Some people might say, well, Gunna didn't really have anything back then. And I say, you're wrong, because with or without Young Thug, he was always gonna find a way. He was always gonna become the man that he is today. The only difference is that the path would have looked different. If you ever have someone in your life who genuinely wants to help you.
Not only that, didn't he write for Young Thug? Didn't he write for Lil Baby? Wasn't he the writer for a lot of motherfuckers in his camp? And not only that, that's also as to why they saying why Young Thug hasn't been dropping the type of shit that he's been dropping, because he no longer has Gunna on his side. The same with Lil Baby. He no longer has Gunna on his side. I believe that Gunna was writing for both of them. So now that you don't have that writing genius in your camp, that's like Beyonce no longer having The Dream or some shit. The Dream's pen goes crazy. If Beyonce doesn't have The Dream, or if whoever heavily works with The Dream no longer has him, you're not gonna hear them type of records. You're not gonna hear no more, because you no longer have that brain. You no longer have that creative brain, that writer on your team. Now that Gunna's gone, it ain't hard to tell who was carrying this shit, bro. Because if Gunna's on his own and he no longer needs y'all, and he's still leveling up crazy on the charts, albums, 100,000, 90,000, bro, all three of Gunna's albums I've listened to, and I'll still press play on. None of them shits is trash since he's been out at all, even before that. But the main focus is, since he got released from jail, because that's when he's been going crazy. Even though he's been going crazy, but it's like, it's different though. The music is different. It's the same thing that I was saying about Tory Lanez. It's like, before the Tory Lanez situation happened, of course he was going crazy, but once that situation came about, it's like his music just leveled up. His creativity, his songs, his everything, he just started going crazier. And the same shit goes for Gunna. So now that Gunna has been leveling up, and he moved away from them and they no longer have him, you see how it's going for them. You see how it's going for Young Thug. Nigga ain't been releasing no good music. All his shit has just been about... The only thing that's been carrying him has been this case shit. This case shit, him talking about it, whatever the case may be. Probably him being with Mariah the Scientist also been carrying him and shit like that. The shit with Lil Baby... Now, granted, there's a lot of motherfuckers who think that just because a motherfucker still got money, a motherfucker still famous, a motherfucker still rich and shit like that, that I'm not speaking about that. I'm only speaking strictly about music. You feel me? You see the shit that they've been saying about Lil Baby. How much shit they've been talking about Lil Baby, about his fall off and shit like that musically. I'm just saying, bro. Ever since Gunna cut them off, or ever since they cut off Gunna, listen, that's another thing. A lot of motherfuckers be trying to cut you off, bro. The person that you're cutting off, you're doing them a favor. The person that you're cutting off, you giving them a blessing. They got to get away from you. It's not the other way around. You not cutting them off for you. You cutting them off for them. The same shit 50 Cent used to say about the bodyguards. I don't have bodyguards to protect you from me. I got bodyguards to protect me. Oh wait, is that how it go? I don't got bodyguards to protect me from you. I got bodyguards to protect you from me. Or however the fuck that shit went, bro. Same shit applies, bro.
No, because they'll never take credit for your success when you eventually become that version of you that you always were destined to become. And I think this is a very important lesson for a lot of us. In most cases, you're only gonna see that your friend is just like Young Thug when push comes to shove, when you're no longer under their wing and they can't control your success anymore. The only thing Gunna is under right now is, he's under those dumbbells, okay? Honestly, I think 2025 is the year a lot of us seen the real side of a lot of people. There's a lot of changes that are happening in the world as we speak, and spiritually, there's something in the air that divides people now more than ever, especially when they're not aligned. I think this story is a representation of just that. Be mindful of who you allow to help you, and don't always be so quick to accept a helping hand, especially if you know what your future holds for you. So nobody can, come out the cut and say that they made you, because with or without their help, you would have figured that shit out 1000%. I believe that.
I just saw a video of Gunna and Nipsey Hussle in a video together, bruh. That ass.
Curious to hear what you guys have to say about this topic, though. Drop a like for the algorithm. Subscribe if you're new here. My name is Blackie Speaks. Nice to meet you. Hope you're having a good Sunday. And yeah, I am out this, man.
Yeah, I think that's what I was saying before I went on that little rant. It's like, bro, Gunna as an artist, Gunna as a writer, whatever the case may be, bro, he was still gonna be popping, bro. He was gonna find a way in the music industry. You feel me? It might not have the same way how a nigga introduced you to Gunna. That same dude or probably somebody else was gonna introduce Gunna to another motherfucker, and they was gonna take him under his wing and shit like that. So it's like, you feel me? It just so happened to be you, and because it's you, years went on, shit started to go the way that it went. And now you get in front of microphones and you get to talking shit about the person that you claim that once have love for, about the son of a dude who you claim to be your OG and shit like that. And clearly Young Thug and his pops be talking shit about Gunna. Well, Young Thug and Gunna's pops be talking shit about Gunna, talking about something, oh, even your dad don't think that you a real nigga. Like, the fact that that type of conversation is even going on, nigga, I'll cut both of them off. I don't give a fuck. That's the end of the video right here. Like, not only that, Thug also said in the video that he was like trying to convince Gunna to go somewhere to like squash the beef that he had with his dad. Nigga, if his dad is out here having conversations with you, talking about he's not a real nigga, why the fuck would you want him to go reconcile that relationship? Obviously, Gunna cut that nigga off for a fucking reason. Look at the type of shit that he's saying about his kid, about his own son. Listen, bro, everything happens for a reason, bro. That ass. And Gunna's a prime example of that shit, bro. You leave a certain environment, you leave certain people behind, bro, and you just elevate, bro. You never realize how much a motherfucker's holding you back, bro, or stopping your blessings and shit. That ass. That's the end of the video right here. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know down below what you want to see me react to next, and I'm going to see y'all in the next one, bro. I'm going to holla at y'all.